I feel like today is going to be a relatively short little talk, and this is just born out of just some useful insights that I've acquired over the years and other people that are kind of in the same mindset. A lot of us are, for lack of a better term, kind of like minimalists, but not necessarily. One of our values, foundations is simplicity and elegance, and we're always looking to simplify life and minimize things because, the reality is a lot of this stuff adds to the background stress that we don't even realize we're a part of. So we want to do our best to kind of mitigate that stuff. And I feel like the holidays can be a relatively stressful time for some people. And I just want to go through a little bit of story to explain that. And make sure we got. All right, cool. Good to see all y'all in here today. What's up? What's up, Mindy, Pam? Paul's here. All right, so I'm going to pull up a little presentation. As always, like we love engagement, y'all. This is it right here. Yes. Let's see if this works. Yes. All right, cool. So we're talking about mindful gifts. Very appropriate. I feel like we'll get out of here relatively quick. So let's just think about what it is that a lot of us want as far as this kind of thinking goes. We want to be able to show people that we care about them, and we want to participate. I think this is most of us, without feeling obligated to participate. And if you're like me, you want to participate with as little waste as possible. And we want to have some kind of an intention behind what we do, which in and of itself can probably be one of the most powerful things that we can do as we move forward with this. And we also want to feel included and loved and respected by others, and not outcast or something along those lines because of our feelings around gift giving or lack of gift giving or something like that. So, what's the problem? Well, we're in a freaking consumer-driven society. And everything that we are exposed to, from social media to news to driving around in billboards and stuff, is driven towards us purchasing something. And it's kind of crazy, right? So especially when we get around the holidays, we have this hysteria. When you really think about it, there's always another holiday coming up. There's always someone's birthday. There's always something that's pulling our attention to buy something or be a part of something. I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. I'm just trying to bring some awareness to this. And a lot of us have this feeling of an obligation to give and receive. And sometimes there's some guilt associated with not staying in touch. And therefore you want to compensate with gifts. I mean, I did this for the majority of my life, not realizing that was kind of what I was doing. Or giving a present or a gift or something in response to not being a good friend. And again, this is me really speaking, but I know it speaks for some people. Some of this stuff may resonate with you, but and then also just a lack of ideas and creativity and last minute stuff. Like, last minute, I can remember so many times being in the store on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, running around just trying to get whatever's available. I know that we've all been there to some degree. So this is me with my family when I was a little kid, and then me just a little bit older with my mom there. And I remember when I was a kid, man, my mom was just one of those mothers that was just the epitome of a mother. Like she, hold on. She was the epitome of a mother that was just crazy about her kids and tried to do anything and everything she could, sometimes to the detriment of herself and her finances and stuff. And I just remember Christmases with her were just like all out, and I had really good memories as a kid with Christmases. As I got older and I started to get more intelligent and kind of wise, I just noticed the stress and the hysteria that revolved around holidays. I remember as a kid with my mom and dad, it seemed really great and fun and awesome. As I got older, I don't know if things changed for her or if I was just seeing things a little bit more different and clearly. But I just remember there was just a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of financial stress, a lot of stress around getting people things and having things set up a certain way and decorating. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with all that stuff. I'm just saying that if it's adding to the stress when you're not enjoying the holidays, and there's something that needs to be addressed there, you know. So, and I think that that's a lot of people, you know. Hold on, I got some notes here that I meant to pull up. Stand by. Where's my screen? What's up, Pam? So I think a lot of us feel this obligation, and you know, we don't ask these important questions like, what is the purpose behind what I'm doing? You know, is this person going to receive value from what I'm giving them? Is this something that's wasteful, or is it going to be used? Is this something that I need to be spending money on myself, you know, or am I doing it for some other reason? So there's a lot of really great questions that we can ask now that we can be intentional. And I also feel like, you know, when I started to move in this direction of where I am now, and where I am now, like me and my family, man, it's so great. Like the holidays are anti-stressful. Like there's no stress there. We hang out, we cook, we drink wine, you know, we just have a good time together. There's no obligation for presents whatsoever. Usually, like, me and Arnica are giving each other presents more than anything else, and then they've got their little thing, and we usually have agreements, you know, like, hey, no gift giving this year unless you really feel led to, or you're making something for someone. But it's more about like having fun, playing ping pong, going on walks, cooking, eating, drinking, just hanging out, watching movies and stuff like that. It's just so great. But I can remember a time that it wasn't like that, you know. And I remember as I started to get more and more into this way of life, like I started to shed some things. So I think for sometimes some of us may be concerned about like the perception of other people, you know, like people are going to get upset or pissed off that we're not participating. And I think about myself as I've progressed through this health journey. There was a time I tried to make late night events. I tried to go to little bar hopping things and parties and birthday parties. And at some point I just ended up like, I got to get to bed. Like, this is my life, and I'm very proud of it. And I've realized over time that you're always going to have people that disagree with what you do and have a problem with what you do. It doesn't matter what you say or do, okay? You can't please everyone. And what you have to do is, over time, just learn how to be really true to yourself. As long as that way of being is coming from a place of intention and love, learn how to be in that space and be very confident and comfortable with it. Because what I think people pick up on is an iffiness about stuff. And although they may have a problem or seem like they have a problem with us standing up for what we believe in and what we want to do and things like that, like, I think people really respect that. So, you know, now I get to bed on time no matter what. I mean, there's some rare occasions that I'll stay up and do something because someone's very special or it's an event that's very special. But in general, that's just the way I am with it. And as far as gifts and things go, I've just gotten to the point to where I just have my way of doing things. You know, it's very simple. Cards, food, cookies, you know, some of my pies, you know, I just find ways to do things that are very, very heartfelt. And so if you have this this feeling that maybe this is going to offend someone, you know, it is a progression. I've got a little step process that we can use for that. So anyway, I just thought I'd share with you. You know, I came from that space. I saw a lot of that. I feel like holidays in general for a lot of people can be extremely stressful and anxiety provoking because everyone is trying to live up to this way of doing things and being things. And what we don't realize is we've been conditioned to be this way. There's so much excess. There's so much, you know, just things that aren't necessary. Again, I remember running around and grabbing things that were available because it was all that was available and giving it to people, hoping they get a smile from it. And it's like, what was I doing? What's the point of all that? What we need to be involved in is like true friendships and connections that are all year long, all the time. And then you can use special occasions to reinforce that, but you just have to do it with intention, okay? So this is what I would consider to be, yeah, no problem, Pam. This is what I would consider to be like a really good, solid step process, okay? Making a list of important people, setting expectations in some way, knowing the people that are really important to you that you know that you may want to do something for, and making a list and chipping away at that around the holiday season, and then asking very, very important questions before you do anything. Okay, if you have any comments, questions, please just make sure that you put it in this little chat. And so there's a handout that I put together, and this handout is 2 pages, and it's just some notes that I put down. I thought it would be a really, really good reference and resource. This is a process that's worked really well for me. And so the first thing that you'd want to do, maybe, if this resonates with you, is make a list of important people in your life. And when I say important people, I feel like there's a couple of different categories there. You've got people that are important to you, that are good friends, you know, that you try to stay in touch with and update, but you're maybe not necessarily in contact with them that often. People that you would like to update about important things. And this list can be very, very useful because, number one, it's a great gratitude list. It's great to go through this list and be like, oh, I have not touched base with that person in forever. I'm going to shoot them a text, or you know, just maybe just reflecting on some great memories of that person. You know, I hope most of us probably have some kind of a gratitude practice involved with our little mindfulness or devotion practice or something like that. So it's a really good list to use for a lot of things. You can also use it to update people on what's going on, and then specific to what we're talking about right here. Got some volume issues going on there. You can actually set expectations over time about your gift giving ideas and how you feel about all this kind of stuff. So the second step would be, after making that general list, is learn how to try to set expectations. And those expectations, I don't know how you would put those out, but you would try to put those out, I don't know, maybe in an email, maybe in a social media post. You may not put it out. Maybe it's just something you have as a background awareness that you are going to communicate when you have the opportunity to. I can't remember how I did it and how often I did it over the years, but I have done just general posts on social media about how I feel, my simplicity, how I'm trying to simplify my life, and my stance on gift giving and receiving gifts and things like that. So you could definitely do some kind of a public thing. You can do an email thing if you wanted to. And these are just some ideas to consider. Okay, so again, it could be just in your own mind. It could be something that you want to share. It could be something that in the back of your mind you're going to share in conversations and things like that. So, you know, life should be about experiences and memories and being intentional with everything. Since being on a more intentional path, I don't see value in material possessions as much as I used to. I realize that most of us have way more than we need and probably need to get rid of more things than we receive. Giving and receiving gifts without intention adds to the clutter and the overall hysteria, which is absolutely true. And I prefer giving your friendship and love, giving and getting your friendship and love all year long, rather than trying to show me with gift at the holidays and vice versa. Okay. So, and again, like I mentioned before, if this resonates with you and you start putting it out there and you're concerned about how people will react or feel, just remember, you're never going to please everyone. You just have to stay true to yourself, as long as that self is coming from a place of a love and deliberate intention. Okay. So that would be the second step, is just figuring out, and these are some ideas you can come up with your own, like learning how to set some expectations with other people. Expectations have been set with most people that I know about, like my late night stuff. Like I just, you know, I'm just not there most of the time. If it's really important, then they'll tell me, and I'll be like, okay, if it's really important to you, then I'm going to show up. So putting things out here like this, I think it's really beneficial. Okay. Now, I mentioned before, when you're making that list, something that you can do is actually segment that list. I'm checking on my little Zoom thing here. Is segment that list, and when you segment that list, you can really focus in on super important people that you feel like you actually do want to do something for, whether it's their birthday or a holiday, you know, Christmas or something along those lines. And so once you have that list, then you can start to chip away at that list really easy. And over time, what's ideal is that you learn about these people and you ask questions. And I think about, like, when me and Arnica first got together, I had done this yes, Pam, I'll address that. That's good. I can remember I've done this a little bit before meeting her, right? Because I just met her a couple of years ago, less than a couple of years ago. So when we first got together, I said, hey, babe, let's do this little thing where let's learn about each other, so we don't have to be prying each other around the holidays, and then you kind of know what you're doing, right? So right off the bat, like, we got each other's sizes for everything. I got all her ring sizes. I got all her clothing sizes. I got her favorite colors, her favorite music, and favorite foods and movies and stuff like that. And I'm also always kind of learning about this from her. And so I just make little notes in our contact record about this stuff. And I've started doing that with a lot of people, just so that I know, oh, this is their favorite thing. This is what they really like about what I make, the different foods I make. This is, their favorite kind of music. And so when you have this information about the people that you care about, it makes it really easy to get something for them, right? So I think that this is something that is useful to do all year long, because if you're doing it right at the holidays, it's kind of obvious why you're doing it. But even then, it's totally fine. I mean, I come up to someone's birthday or something, and I'll just start asking questions like this, and it's obvious what I'm doing, but they still don't know what I'm going to do. It's still going to be a surprise when I get them a gift or something like that, So again, you've got your list of general people that you want to keep updated. You got your really special list of people, maybe, and then you want to try to learn about them as the year goes on, as time goes on, as life goes on, so that you can customize their gifts if you want to get them anything, right? And then some really, really great questions that you can ask before buying, making, or giving a gift. What's the purpose behind giving this particular gift? Is this recipient going to find value in this gift? Is it something they're actually going to use? Is it something that they need? And how could I make this more meaningful for both of us, right? And maybe some experiential something, right? And if you just put a little bit of intention into things before, giving a gift or creating something, then I think that really does go a long way, and you minimize the potential for there to be a lot of waste, all right? So this is just some thoughts that I've kind of compiled over the years, and I would love to have your feedback and input as far as more specific ideas. What we can do in Superhumans United is make a post and then just keep adding to this. So that's what I'll do. I'll make, from this video, I'll make a post, and then we'll try to make some bullet points in there. And then as people have comments and ideas, we can share it with everyone, because I think this could be a really good resource. I love making homemade cards. And a homemade card doesn't have to be that crazy. It means so much to me when someone actually just writes a little note. And it doesn't matter if it's fancy, if it's on a blank piece of paper, if it's something that's done up with colors and stuff, it doesn't matter. I think homemade cards with a personal message are just, in and of themselves, can be amazing. Getting a card on a holiday, not a holiday, it doesn't matter. I think that just says a lot, okay? It's almost like that should be the first thing to go to, okay? And you can do that any time of the year, by the way. But around holidays, a card is better than nothing. And if you care about this person and you want to share that, then share it. Then say something about it. The gift of homemade food, I think, is just one of the best things that you can possibly do. All right, I love making my cookies. I love making my fudge. I love making my pies. I love giving people pieces of it. And I know that it's something that's going to be consumed. There's not going to be any waste. There's not going to be much trash. And so I think the gift of homemade food is just absolutely great, right? We tend to share a lot of food with each other here in the office with the coaches and things. And so it's not anything strange for me to get some pork belly or something from Colby, right? But on my birthday, he gave me some pork belly and some bacon wrapped dates. I thought that was awesome. That was perfect. I don't need anything else, all right? I just need your friendship. I just need what we have together, Along the same lines, if you don't want to make something yourself, just consumables in general, I think, are awesome. If someone loves coffee, loves wine, loves beer, loves dark chocolate or something like that, I think I put a bow on a 1 pound package of bacon from Whole Foods and given it as gifts many times. And again, consumables are great because they're going to be consumed, and there's not a whole lot of waste. There's definitely not any material buildup with that. You could even do things like soap and lotion and things like that. If I got a bottle of Bronner soap with a bow on it, I'd be like, that is so cool. I'm definitely going to use that Bronner soap, And then some other things. I don't know if we've thought about this kind of stuff before, but I've done several gifts where I've given Arnica an experience, and you can pre-purchase it. You can make your own little gift card about some time with you, some ideas here, like a massage, a dinner together. So this is if you're wanting to gift your time with them and you want to spend some time with them, a movie together, a trip, a show, a meditation, a sunrise or sunset together. And if one of those things doesn't cost any money, you can make your own custom little gift card and say, this awards you, 10 hugs or something like that, cleaning up the house, cleaning up a room. You can get really creative with it, right? So gifting your time is really, really awesome. And then also gifting an experience that you may not have to be there for. So same thing, like a massage, a dinner, a movie, a trip, a show. These are kind of like consumables because they're going to use them and they're going to get experience out of it and they're going to have a really, really good time from it. So those are just some really simple and basic ideas, and I would love some feedback on that, some other ideas, some creativity. Let me see if we got any questions popped up in the question box yet. No, we don't, which is perfectly cool. And then let me just address what Pam says here in the chat. Pam says, personally, I have a couple of people that mean a lot to me, but I don't know what they want. So it's a cash or a gift card so they can get something they really want. I think that's great as long as you just have some good intention behind it. I do. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I think it's a really good fallback. So, but maybe if you don't know, what they want or need, then that would be something good. Those questions, like making a little profile with that person and their contact record, keeping track of different things that they like, and you can get really, really creative with it. So let's see what else. Now, what to do with gifts that you get that you're not going to use? I had this question come up, and I'm not really sure how to answer that, honestly. If you get something and it's just something you're not going to use, I don't know. I'm not sure what the right thing to do there is. I guess you can hold on to it for a little bit and see if you're going to use it or something. So if anyone has any feedback on that, that would be really, really cool. So if you commit to this and you think about things in life like this, simplifying, minimizing your possessions, cherishing experiences and relationships more than material things, and just trying to put intention behind anything and everything that you do. Just a little bit of intention goes a long way. I was thinking about, me and Ashley were talking yesterday about like just, meal planning and prep and just sometimes just on a Sunday, looking at the week and just asking yourself, like, what am I going to do for the week? Sometimes just doing that by itself is so beneficial. You don't have to have some kind of a complex plan. But the same thing goes for gift giving, gift receiving. If you just put just a little bit of thought and intention behind it, and you're not waiting until the last minute, I think that can really go a long way. And I think your life you'll be happier because it'll be simpler. You don't feel so much obligation. You're not doing so many things just because you're supposed to, and things just tend to work out and feel a little bit smoother over time. Okay. So, any questions, comments, feedback, snide remarks? I'll stop my screen share here. It is good to see y'all in here. Hope that's useful stuff. Let me see. I didn't see Mindy and Natasha. Regift. Donate unwanted items. Yes. All right. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So, Kyle, y'all got anything? Nope. All right. Awesome. All right. So, y'all got anything else? Put a question. Give it to me. What are your thoughts on books? Books are great. I mean, shoot, that should be one of the main things in it. I think books are great, especially if you feel like that person is going to use the book. That would be a good question to ask or to learn about that person, is if they're a reader and if they like to read books or listen to audiobooks. So I'm going to put that in that list. I think that's great. I can't even count how many times I've recommended books and things. I think that's awesome. Wow, that's really good, because I've got some people that I've actually recommended some books that I was thinking about how can I get them a gift, and I could have just given them like an Audible gift card or an Amazon gift card for a book or something like that. I wonder if you can buy books by themselves on Amazon for other people. Need to look into that. So I love that. That's great. Anything else? Yeah, I'm audio all the way. Yeah, it's hard for me to, sometimes if it's a book that I'm like really, really into and I've read like, 3 times plus, like Atomic Habits, I've read several times, and there's situations where I'm like, man, I just want to be able to like look at that and circle it or something like that. But usually 99% of the time I'm an audiobook kind of guy. So what else? Oh, you can? Cool, Pam. Yeah, I hear you, Natasha. So Natasha says in the chat there, what do you do? when do you stop buying gifts? Well, I think this takes some time. And I don't know where you are with this whole simplifying life thing, but it's been years that I've gone through iterations of going through my place and getting rid of stuff and just understanding. Man, a really good documentary, if you haven't watched it, is called Minimalism. It's by the Minimalists, and it's a really good eye opener. But it's almost like we want to move in the direction of, because you asked, like, when do you stop buying gifts? Like, you don't ever have to buy gifts. I think like your hairdresser and any other friend would feel just as honored to get a little note from you that was like had a little bow on it or something like that, or some of your some homemade cookies or something like that. Like that would be just as special as getting a gift, I think. So it's really just being intentional with what it is that you're getting. It's not like stop giving people stuff, but maybe you're just not buying stuff just for the sake of giving them a present, but you're making them something. Or if it's a hairdresser, I mean, sure, you spend a lot of time with her. You can just sit there and BS and ask questions about what she likes. Do you drink wine? Do you drink coffee? What's your favorite? And you can learn a little bit about them, so you can make that gift a little bit more specific. But even then, if you're trying to minimize like the spending around that, just some homemade food or something, I think would be great, or just a note. But I think that's great. It's just it's uncomfortable at first, but over time, it gets to feel very comfortable. I love the way that we are here, because I feel like, and when I say here, like me, Colby, a lot of the coaches, and we're people that have been here for a long time. We're all in that mode now of we don't expect and get like gifts, and if they are, it's like, like a couple pieces of pork belly or some bacon wrapped dates, or I give them some fudge, or I give them a pie or something like that. My cost, is not that much. It's just my time and my intention and my energy and my love, and I think that goes a long way, and a little note goes a long way too. So yeah, what else we got? Anything else? I appreciate y'all being here. Yes, Atomic. Let me tell you something. If y'all need some books, separate topic here. If y'all need some books, Atomic Habits, so great. It will help you integrate what you're learning with the SHT, with the Combine, with health routines in general. Our little routines talk that we've done a couple of times, like it's super solid, and some of those concepts we pulled from Atomic Habits and some other places. Another really, really good book that I've gifted a million times. I remember I recommended it to Colby years ago. He's recommended it to a bunch of people, is Zen and the Art of Happiness. It will change your perspective on everything. I have the quote up here in my office: everything that happens to me is the best possible thing that can happen to me. And when I first heard that in the book, I was like, yeah. It's another one of those kind of fake being happy books, but it's not. Like, it's so good. So Atomic Habits, Zen, and the Art of Happiness. So cool. Awesome, Pam. Good to hear. All right. Anything else, y'all? Okay, so this is going to be a recorded video. It's going to be in Superhumans United, and I'm going to edit it based on some of the stuff that we've learned here. And I have, let me just show you all my handout that I put together real quick if you care to see it. Yeah, right here, Mindful Gifts. I've got all the notes that we talked about today. I'll add some of that stuff to it. You can print this out, use it as a reference and resource. The last thing that I do want to say is just remember, we have the Mastering Real Food for Life for a Lifetime 8-week progression kicking off on January 9th. And this is the best of what we got. All right. When I say Mastering Real Food for a Lifetime, this is everything that you need to know to master real food for a lifetime. Putting it into practice is another thing, and that's a lifelong journey. Okay. But what you will learn in this progression is everything that you need to know to master real food for a lifetime, from the basics of real food to experimenting with low carb and experimenting with elimination diets and how to self-test, plus all the popular fad methodologies, including things like fasting. So you come out of this very, very knowledgeable. As long as you go into it with an intention to get value and get as much out of it as you can, this is everything that you need to know. This is what we as veterans put into practice on a daily basis. And then the key after that is just staying involved with all the different stuff that we offer throughout the year. And I just got to say, like, I'm a good person to learn this stuff from, because I've been there and done that with everything, and I am every single day putting this stuff into practice and learning from it. I'm working with people every day. I'm working with clients every day. I'm doing corporate seminars and things, and I'm constantly fine-tuning my personal health and then learning from all my different experiences that I have with other people. And this is the best of the best. The guide is freaking awesome. It's updated. It's almost like a book now. So the first meeting is on January 9th. Okay, if you're a part of Superhumans United, then you get it for free. You can attend virtual or in person. If you're part of the Combine, same thing. You can attend virtual in person as part of your membership. So, and then you can share it with other people. Okay, maybe I'll make sure that you have a link or something in the group. But it's $3.99 for a one-time payment, or it's $39.99 a month for a year. Okay, now that $3.99 or the $39.99 a month for a year gives you access to Superhumans United for a year. Now think about that, $400 to freaking have confidence and certainty with real food, not to mention that you get everything else that we do throughout the year. That would be a good gift to give someone if you could afford it. All right, so yeah, I just think it's what we have going on in there is really, really solid. Okay, now that's all I got. So thank you guys so much for constantly showing up, and constant involvement means constant progress. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see y'all. All right, if you don't have anything else for me, yep, cool. So good to see y'all. If I can do anything for you, just let me know. I'm making pies. If you want a pecan pie or pumpkin or sweet potato pie, let me know. If you haven't tried them, I got pecan pie in my office right now. It's addictive. All right, good to see you, Mindy. Thank y'all so much. Thanks, Natasha. Thanks, Pam. Thank y'all. Thank you. Yep, we'll see ya. Keep it real. How do I end this?